please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Well, let's take a look at what is happening on the Asian screen, because earlier in the morning it was showing that SGX Nifty suggested a start with a 25 points uptick. Let's see, the Shanghai markets have opened with a downtick of around 0.24%. Hang Seng as well up around 0.3%. So that market doing well in trade. In China, we are seeing Nikkei also up around 0.10%. As well as the SGX Nifty we should get up on our screen. Let's see how that one is reacting to these cues. Earlier in the morning, it was suggesting a 25 points uptick, and as of now as well, it is showing an uptick of around 23 points. But SEBI has a slew of proposals on the agenda for its last board meet before the budget. The board meets today, and Yash is here with what can be discussed and taken up. Yash, good morning. Tell us what is on the agenda.
Good morning, Anisha. As you rightly pointed out, this would be the last SEBI board meeting before the financial budget, and the board will have a heavy-duty agenda to discuss in today's meeting. Just to give out some of the important points which will be there on SEBI's board meeting, we are given to understand that market regulators SEBI could reintroduce regulations around disclosure of debt defaults. Here we are told that SEBI may ask listed companies to disclose working capital loan defaults within a period of 30 days. Also, what we are given to understand is that SEBI may ask this listed companies to disclose defaults on long-term loans within 24 hours. Also, what we are given to understand is that SEBI might finalize regulations around the listing of asset reconstruction company or ARC receipts, but there's a small caveat here. We are given to understand that only sophisticated buyers like qualified institutional buyers or alternate investment funds might be allowed to trade this new instrument of ARC receipts. Also, what we are told is that SEBI might tighten regulations around credit rating agency. Remember, very recently SEBI had floated a consultation paper giving out what could these regulations look like, and what we are given to understand is that which essentially that consultation paper also suggested putting a cap of 10% as far as cross shareholding between credit rating agencies concerned, also barring these credit rating agencies from having a board seat or voting rights as far as another credit rating agency is concerned. So yes, the final regulations today could be on similar lines as the consultation paper. The last point here, we could find some regulations coming in the mutual fund space, where a mutual fund or an asset management company could be barred from having a board seat or board representation as far as another mutual fund company is concerned, and also a company might be barred from buying more than 10% in more than one mutual fund or asset management company. So as you see, a slew of reforms up for discussion today, and we'll keep you updated on whenever that board meet ends and any development on this particular.
Absolutely, Yash. We trust you to do that. You've had an early morning. Seems like it will be a late evening as well, but stay on with us. We also understand that the SEBI has pulled up Axis Bank over the data leak case, saying that the first quarter numbers of the bank were similar to the numbers that were available on WhatsApp before the numbers were released to the exchanges.
Well, exactly as you pointed out, SEBI had already been investigating against brokers, analysts, and it had given enough hints that companies would come under market regulators' radar next, and that is exactly what has happened. SEBI in its investigation has found that some unpublished price-sensitive information of Axis Bank was being circulated through WhatsApp messages. In fact, SEBI very clearly has said that all the parameters of this unpublished price-sensitive information, which relates to the financial performance of first quarter of Axis Bank, were being circulated through WhatsApp messages, and except the slippages figure, every financial parameter was absolutely accurate. SEBI has very categorically said that the leakage from Axis Bank as far as the financial results are concerned was only possible because Axis Bank had not put proper process systems and controls in place. Now, in terms of corrective measures, SEBI has asked Axis Bank to strengthen these processes, systems and controls so that such leakage is not repeated. Also, SEBI has asked Axis Bank to conduct an internal inquiry which will cover every member of the committee, every person who is essentially responsible for generation and dissemination of this financial information, and this report of the internal investigation will have to be concluded within 3 months, and 7 days thereafter Axis Bank will have to submit a report to market regulators SEBI. So that is the whole investigation and the way forward for this investigation.
Okay, thank you, Yash, for that. Let's see how this investigation pans out. But from managing one of India's most powerful mutt, Gorakhnath Peeth, to becoming the Chief Minister of India's most populous state, Yogi Adityanath has juggled both roles effectively in the past 9 months. He was the surprise choice for the role of UP Chief Minister, and he has had his hands full since then. CNBC TV18's Rituparna Bhuyan and Arif Sherwani report that his next challenge will be to ensure that the BJP continues to win favour with the voters in the state in the 2019 general elections.
लाल फीताशाही से बचने के लिए हम लोगों ने सिंगल विंडो सिस्टम सीएम ऑफिस के ही निर्देशन में उनकी देखरेख में वह प्रारंभ हो चुका है.
This is the monk who became a chief minister, urging India Inc. to invest in the state of Uttar Pradesh. 9 months earlier, when Yogi Adityanath, the 5-time member of parliament from Gorakhpur and the head of the Gorakhnath temple's name cropped up as potential chief minister, it was met with surprise, as was his eventual appointment. But Yogi says the party's decision was not a shot in the dark.
ओवरनाइट नहीं हुआ है. 5 बार से सांसद के रूप में जन अपेक्षाओं पर खरा उतरने के साथ साथ जो कार्य सार्वजनिक जीवन में हम लोगों ने किए हैं, पार्टी ने उस पर मोहर लगाई. आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, आदरणीय राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी ने मुझे देश के सबसे बड़े प्रदेश उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में जिम्मेदारी दी है.
After taking over, one of his first moves was to waive farm loans worth 36,359 crore rupees, a move that earned him brownie points with a large portion of UP's vote bank. But not all his decisions were met with widespread approval, especially the banning of illegal abattoirs across the state, which came into force following multiple lynchings linked to the production and consumption of beef across India. Known as a hardline Hindutva leader, Yogi did not hide his leanings. But at the same time, he was seen focusing on recalibrating the state's bureaucracy, which was widely seen as corrupt and inefficient. From banning Gutka in UP's government offices to cracking the whip to ensure regular attendance by officials, his agenda was to make the UP government accessible and result-oriented.
आज उत्तर प्रदेश का हर व्यक्ति इस बात को लेकर के संतुष्ट हो सकता है कि शासन प्रशासन की व्यवस्था संवेदनशील है, संवेदनशील बनी है और संवेदनशील बनेगी.
State infrastructure was not given the go-by either. Yogi broke an 8-year jinx when he visited Noida to inaugurate a metro project and sent the message that he was willing to go the extra mile to address issues of governance.
आज मुझे खुशी है कि जिस नोएडा के संबंध में एक छवि बन गई थी कि कोई मुख्यमंत्री यहां आ नहीं सकता है, उस मिथक को योगी जी ने बिना बोले अपने आचरण से सिद्ध कर दिया कि ये सब मान्यताएं गलत होती हैं. आधुनिक युग ऐसा हो नहीं सकता और इसलिए मैं योगी जी को हृदय से बधाई देता हूं.
But by far the biggest controversy Yogi Adityanath has had to deal with is the death of 72 children at a hospital in Gorakhpur due to lack of oxygen. And similarly, yet in this case apparently unfounded accusations following the death of 49 infants at a government hospital in Farrukhabad just days later. Both instances took some firefighting, but on the whole the Chief Minister has emerged without visible scars. He now has the task of boosting the BJP's prospects in the general elections in 2019. Which means he has a little over a year to continue honing and working his magic. In New Delhi with Rituparna Bhuyan, Arif Sherwani.
Now, we've been getting you the top stock recommendations from CNBC TV18's Market Wallas. Here's another set of stocks that SP Tulsian, Prakash Diwan, Ambrish Baliga and Meherboon Irani are betting on in the New Year. Stay.
Company is carrying out an expansion of about 175 crore, which should get completed maybe in 6 months' time. And in fact, in spite of such a big capex, company will remain a debt-free because for the simple reason that they raised about 69 crores with a QIP having made in the month of July at 776, and now the share is ruling closer to about 700 rupees. For FY19, I think that will be a real big explosion in earnings, and I won't be surprised to see an EPS of about 75 to 80 also for FY19, and that will really be a big kicker for the company to post growth in its top line as well as in bottom line. Maybe top line will show a growth of about 60-65%, bottom line will show a growth of about 80-85%. So taking that into consideration, share can give you a level of about 880 in next 6 months or so, which is now ruling closer to about 700 rupees.
What's good about this company is, one is, of course, the pedigree is very strong. And as you said, financials are in place. They have decent cash on the books, a debt equity ratio of just about 0.3. They would move into return ratios of 20% plus, 21% in the next year and a half. They are into castings and pig iron. They're two primary businesses. This is in a sweet spot, has a very good relationship with clients for long years, Kirloskar pedigree to back it. And interestingly, last quarter, some of the DIIs increased their stake in this business also. So I think it's probably in that stage where it's getting kind of, ready to take off. I would give it a target of about 145, 150 whereabouts.
Although ARPUs were not up to the mark, but subscriber additions are superb. So I think that will start paying off now. Because even if ARPUs move up by either, say, 10 to 15 rupees, that's a huge addition to the bottom line. All of them were getting decently low valuations, but with the Warburg-Pincus deal, we are clearly seeing that Dish seems extremely cheap as compared to Airtel DTH. I mean, looking at the valuations they're given. So that valuation gap also is there. So from that point of view, I think this stock can move up from current levels of closer to about 80 to 110, 120, which is a conservative estimate for possibly the next 8 to 12 months. But if you're looking at EPS for FY20, which I expect to be about 4.5, 5 rupees, I mean, at that point of time, you could possibly see the stock at much higher levels.
The company's name is Finotex Chemical Limited, which is also known as FCL. Let's put it this way. The company is one of India's largest textile chemical manufacturer, which provides customized solution to the entire gamut of activities in the textile sector. 22 crores equity, again I repeat, with zero debt. Promoters have increased their stake from 62% to 72% over the last 4 years. They declared a bonus issue in 2014-15 and have reserves of over rupees 100 crores on an equity of 22 crores. I think with an earnings of 2.5 rupees coming in the current year, which can go to 3.8 as I lightly mentioned, the stock at 50.52 is a clear steal.
Okay, so those were some top picks for 2018, but let's come back and talk about this year, because remember, today is the last expiry of 2017 and Nigel is here to take us through how the markets fared in December series. Well, Nigel, good morning. November, we saw a bit of downtick of around 100 points, but December, the bulls came back with a bang.
Absolutely. The bulls came back. In fact, Santa's here in the month of December, and the Nifty is up more than 250 points. As you said, November was a bit of a down month, but if you just pull up the chart, you'll see that, in fact, out of the 12 series that we have seen in this year itself, you have the Bears winning only 4, while the Bulls, in fact, have won close to around 8 series. So this series goes to the Bulls with, in fact, a gain of around 250 points. Well, you'll say we have moved only 250 points. Don't say only. We have swung around close to around 500 points. If you take a look at the 500 points, if you take a look at the high point of the series as well as the low point of the series, that as well should come up for you on the screen. Who were the big gainers then? You know, that's really the question. Maruti, what a smooth drive. That stock moving towards the 10,000 odd mark. It's done well. Vedanta and Hindalco as well. In the month of November, they corrected more than 10%. Now they've made up all those losses. In fact, they're sitting with gains of close to around more than 10%, in fact. And throw in there something like a Hindustan Unilever as well as Mahindra and Mahindra. Both those two stocks have done quite well. Good to see that Sun Pharma as well has bounced back from the lows that we saw. In fact, that after a while has come in the list of the top gainers. Who were the losers then? Coal India. People who were expecting a bit of a coal price hike, that came about, but it seems, in fact, the selling pressure on the stock doesn't stop, because that, in fact, has been a relative underperformer, sitting with a cut of close to around 5%, and a whole host of other losers up for you in the screen. But who were the big gainers? Some of these stocks said, let's be remembered at least in December 2017. Well, just take a look at that. Reliance Communications up more than 100%. You have Wokat. Just take a look at that. Big run over there on the stock, 20% higher. And Jet Airways as well. Crude prices are moving higher, yes, but Jet Airways is flying even higher, because that, in fact, is sitting with a gain of roughly around 20% approximately. And SAIL as well, you know, a lot of positive statements coming in there from SAIL. I'll be looking at the Q3 numbers very, very closely. That's given you a gain of close to around 20%. But when there are big gainers, obviously, there are some losers, and some of them flashing for you on the screen. But to sum things up, really, Nifty is up 250 points in this series, and close to around 8 series going to the Bulls. They'll be feeling good. Santa's been in their corner. Back to you all.
Thanks a lot for that, Nigel. Yes.
Well, we are winding down on 2017, but it doesn't look like there is any shortfall or paucity of cues when it comes to the world of commodities. Yesterday, we were talking about crude hitting a 2.5-year high, and today it is the turn of copper hitting a 4-year high. Manisha, good morning. Tell us what all is happening and what is the reason why copper is gaining so much?
Oh, well, there are plenty of reasons, and as you're very right. Even as the volumes are thinning down, we have seen a lot of action come in, exaggerated moves in the metal space. It's a 4-year high that you have seen in copper. $7,200 per ton has been taken away on LME. We are now up 39% for copper prices in 2017, and looks like we are getting new year on those kind of gains. Well, the Chinese imports, if you look at that on month-on-month basis, have jumped up quite strongly. The global growth scenario, of course, has been helping the metals. The expectation is that after the U.S. is done with its tax reforms, the next thing that would come in is infra spending, and that would take the raw materials and the base metal prices much higher from where they are right now. Apart from that, a couple of big production houses in China have been told to cut production, leading into pollution control, and that is also curbing supplies. So everywhere that you look, you are looking at lower supplies. Copper, in any case, has been deficit, and you are looking at strong demand estimates going forward. So there's nothing really that stops the rally as we get into 2018.
All right, Manisha, thanks a lot for that. Nothing that stops the copper rally in 2018. Copper, is it the new gold? Is it the new Bitcoin? We don't know. We'll keep an eye out on that. But what we'll watch out for today is definitely the futures and options expiry. Remember, this series itself, the Nifty is up about 264 points. Of the 12 series this year, 8 have belonged to the bulls and 4 to the bears. That's the kind of year that this has been. 8 series in 2017 have been in the positive. Rollovers, they picked up yesterday, average of 45%. As of yesterday, they stood at 51%. So that is positive, more conviction by the participants in the market. What was actually also good was that despite the Nifty correcting from the high point of the day yesterday, the Nifty December futures, they're trading above that 10,500 mark with a premium of close to 9.5 points. So that is something we'll be watching out for. And as a result of that, the 9,500 call writers, they felt a little jittery. The maximum open interest at the 10,500 call, that one's moved higher to 10,600. So that is something we'll be watching out for. But there was also some writing at the 10,550 call, close to around 10.6 lakh shares. 10,500 put writers, they felt a little jittery as the markets corrected yesterday. So they shared about 12 lakh shares in open interest. All in all, what the traders will be doing in today's trading session, perhaps as it is an expiry, will be looking to eat into that 50 rupee premium that is available at the 10,500 straddle, which is a call and a put together. Together, they will see about 50 rupees of premium. That's something they'll be looking to eat into. That means that around 10,450 to about 10,550 is the range that the smart money perhaps will be playing for. Apart from that, individual stocks, watch out for Reliance Communications. Last 2 sessions, the stock's up almost 80%, has entered the F&O ban on the last trading day of this series. And TV18 broadcast, of course, with the disclosure that this is also the company that runs the channel that you love.
Thank you, Mangalam, for that. So yes, it's going to be a very important and interesting expiry, the last one of 2017. The SGX Nifty for starters is showing a 28 points uptick, but that's all the time we have on Power Breakfast. Do stay tuned to CNBC TV18 because Bazaar Morning Call comes up next.